Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank y'all so much for joining me for our astrology talk. For today, we are diving into what it means when you have your sun in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, if you have not checked out any of my videos on what your sun, moon, and rising means, go ahead to my channel, Hidden Alchemy, where you can find tons and tons of astrology videos to dissect these things down. And my books are open for reading. So head over to my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, if you would like your own personalized reading as well. So let's go ahead and dive into what it means when you have your sun in the sign of Sagittarius. Sun sign is really just what you are consciously aware of about your personality, but it is not all of who you are. You have your moon, your rising, your Mercury, your Venus, your Chiron. There's so many aspects to your chart you want to look at besides just your sun sign. But your sun sign is like your conscious personality of the different tools that you have in this lifetime to guide you through. Now, the sign Sagittarius, Sag is a masculine sign. It is fire, it is mutable, and it is the last fire sign. So we deal with Sagittarius energy when we are on our way out of fall into winter. And when you think about Sagittarius, think about the time of year we deal with Sagittarius season. It's literally from the start of Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas, right before we get into the heart of winter, or the start of winter, I should say, January season. And that time of the year is usually when we have so many festivities. We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have the gearing up towards the new year. And that is really what describes Sagittarius energy. Sages are truly the life of the party. They are the fire energy that brings so much inspiration, so much optimism, so much bubbly type of energy. Whenever you're around a Sagittarius, you can expect that they are going to bring lightness to the mood. That is really the type of energy that they bring. They like to have fun, they like to have a good time. They are very big on experiencing their world, exploring the world, meeting and socializing with different people. And they really have such a broad mind. They really like to learn different types of philosophy. Sag rules your religious beliefs, your faith, your philosophy. And even if these folks are not religious people, by knowing, these are people who move from their own philosophy. They move from the beat of their own drum. And it's really their true faith in whatever philosophy they believe in, whether it be spiritual, religious, or just their own philosophy. Because they have so much faith in what they believe in, they move from that faith, and they move with this confidence in the world because they move from their own philosophy. And even though these folks might not appear religious on the outside, these are people that really believe that life is here for us to experience it from a space of optimism, from a space of joy, and really from a space of abundance. It's very rare to meet a Sagittarius that moves with this feeling of lack. I have never come across a Sagittarius that moves from a space of lack. These are people who are very generous. I feel like Sagittarius don't get the rep of being as generous as they are. And it's really because they move with this optimism and this ease, and they really believe that they are worthy of experiencing the abundance of life. Now, this is something that can really play to their opposite end of delusion a little bit, because Sages have this overabundance type of energy and type of belief that life is going to work out in its greatest good, which is very true. But it's sometimes because of this overzealous belief in life working out in their greatest good that they can sometimes miss the details of a few things. And that's why the opposite of Sagittarius is Gemini. Gemini rules the intellect, it rules our mind, paying attention to the tiny details of situations and just picking up on the facts and the knowledge and just the information. It's not that Sages don't care about information or that Sages miss information. No, they are very intelligent as well, but Sag rules a higher level of consciousness where we're really connecting to the bigger picture of life. You know, that life is really about us enjoying these experiences, even though we're going to go through so many trials and tribulations. It's up to us to really take life by the horns and steer it in our own direction. I feel like Sages are very big on, if life gives them lemons, they're going to make lemonade out of it. They know how to take a situation and to just find the positive in it. And they choose to find that positive and to live their life from that positive philosophy. And it's not that they are unaware of the negative sides that happen in life, or the downsides that happen. It's just that they actively choose to move from a positive state. And Sages are masculine in nature. So these are people who really like to lead in their life. It's very hard to box a Sagittarius in. They are the trailblazers in terms of moving. They're constantly moving towards a quest. Like they're always on their own journey. And that's why it's very hard to box these folks in. And when you think about the archetype that rules Sagittarius, it's the centaur, which is half man, half horse, and half man being the man up top and the horse at the bottom. And Sagittarius actually rules the hips, which gets us moving forward on our journey. So when you think about the archetype, these are people who are constantly in a state of movement. They need to be stimulated mentally, spiritually, and physically. They are constantly on a quest of, what's the next adventure? How can I learn more about myself and learn more about life through being in a state of adventure? And this can play to their downfall sometimes, because they kind of have a hard time being still and being with what is. Instead, they constantly need this drive, this new kick, this new adventure. It's very hard for them to stay still, which can sometimes make them come across as non-committers. And it's not that they're not non-committers. It's just that in order for Sagittarius to really commit, and I'm going to talk about this in my Venus and Sagittarius video, in order for them to really commit to something, it cannot bring mundane energy. It cannot keep them boxed in where they're not exploring and learning and growing. A Sag does not want to be in the same space that they were a year before. And when you think about the archetype, the centaur, the horse bottom, like they have to keep going. They have to keep moving. And this is when a Sag is in a very depressed mood, because they're ruled by Jupiter, their depression can be just as big as their abundance mindset. So when a Sag is in their regular state, they are generous. They are moving from a space of optimism, of wealth, of abundance, of bubbliness. But when they're in that depressed state, it's usually because they are feeling stagnant somewhere in their life and they cannot move forward. And that depression can feel really heavy because they are ruled by the planet Jupiter. Jupiter rules expansion. And Jupiter doesn't discern between what it expands. No, it's going to expand anything that it touches. So when a Sag is in that space of stagnancy and they feel stuck, they feel unappreciative, that depression can feel really, really deep for them. Now, because they are fire, they don't stay in that energy very long. They really know how to move to the beat of their own drum and to rebuild themselves, especially because they come right after Scorpio. And I mentioned this in my previous videos, that the signs pull from the sign before it. So Sag is going to pull that resiliency from Scorpio, that evolution, that transformation. And they're also going to pull the darkness from Scorpio, but they choose to see the lighter side of a situation. And that's what brings them this zealous, abundant, and really just bubbly personality. Now, I'm going to talk about this more in my Sag and Mercury video, but Sages can get the rep because they move from this space of truth. They are very blunt. It is very normal to have Sages around you. Every Sag that I know is very blunt. They're going to tell you exactly what they're thinking, how they feel, because they believe in moving from this space of truth. And really, what's the point of living in a space of dishonesty? That's Sag energy. It's very rare for a Sag to really be moving from a space that's not authentic to themselves. These are people who are very authentic to their truth, very authentic to themselves, and can sometimes get this rep of being the know it all, because they move from their own state of wisdom, and they'll never try to force you to believe in what they believe in. But because of their brassness and how they speak and their matter of fact, it can sometimes make you feel as if they think that their philosophy is higher and better than your philosophy. And it's not that they think that, but they're just going to speak from their own inner knowing and for what works for them in their life and what's bringing them abundance. And truthfully, because Sagittarius is moving us towards the end of the zodiac, these are people who kind of can see the bigger picture of life and understand life in a deeper way and bring some lightness and some humor. Sagittarius are very, very humorous people. They're going to bring humor to a situation because they understand that yes, life can suck. sometimes, but we can always make lemonade out of the lemons that life is bringing us. All in all, love, love, love Sagittarius energy. Feel free to let me know if you are a Sag Sun and if this video resonates with you. I would love to hear. And if not, I will see you for our next video.